Hey there, Steve with CCI, and welcome to CCI Drive Time. This is a brand new podcast that I've decided to start to take care of a couple of things that I think are missing in helping distributors do their job, helping them be more successful, helping laundry equipment distributors achieve their goals. And I'm going to come at it with a payment system perspective, but the reality is that a lot of things that I hope to cover in this podcast are things that you can extend out to other layers of your business. Something that I noticed in talking to my sales team is that so many distributor salespeople out there struggle to keep up with all of the information that they're expected to know with all of the different products that are out there. And it's tough to understand what everybody is up to. Being in the payment system space, we have no shortage of competitors, no shortage of technologies that your customers, your laundromat investors are leaning to you to try to understand how to make a decision. What do these things do? How do they work? And what came to be really evident is, how is a distributor supposed to learn all of these things? We realize that you are probably spending a lot of time in your car going from one appointment to the next. And so I thought, I listen to a lot of podcasts in my car. Why don't we create a podcast to help not only just educate you on things that CCI are up to, but just what other distributors are doing to help understand the topics you're expected to know. And so the purpose behind this is to help you feel like you have a resource to stay up to speed, and we'll spend some time just making sure you understand all of the things that payment systems can do, understand why there are different kinds of payment systems, and maybe where some of those things fit, where they don't fit, and hopefully bring some other topics to the table driven by your requests that might be interesting for others to listen to as well. So these will be around 20 minutes long, 25 minutes. I hope to occasionally bring a guest in occasionally to talk about their success, to talk about things that might make sense, things that you should know. And all of this is something you should be able to do in between sales appointments. So the idea here is to provide you content that is valuable, let you digest it in small chunks, and then take it from there and hopefully be successful with it. So we realize how busy you are. Payment systems are not simple. And at the end of the day, education's really hard. So let's focus on using that drive time to learn something, to get up to speed on something, so that while you're going in between sales calls, you're learning something to help you move more equipment. All right. So let's just start to talk about card systems and why you should be selling them. And if you're new to the industry, this is a great place to start, which is the idea that a card system isn't just a simple box. Realizing that distributors' primary focus is to essentially sell iron, which is, in the shape of laundry equipment. A payment system is an ancillary item on top of a much bigger, hopefully, order that you're working on. But it's also a critical layer, possibly, to the success of that investor, whether you're quoting somebody for a brand new location, or you're quoting somebody to do a retool, or you just have somebody that's trying to make improvements to an existing store. Laundry equipment's going to be the primary driver. It's the biggest ticket item. It's where the most profit is. It's where you have the best opportunity to make a sale. But I can tell you from the 25 years that I've been in this business that sometimes to differentiate yourself from the other distributors in the same market that you work in is to present yourself differently. And one of the ways that I have found that we have done in the Chicagoland market, we'll talk about my history at some point, but we have a distributorship in Chicago, so we're very aware of the competitive landscapes, is to position the payment system first. And not to say that the laundry equipment isn't an important part of the equation. It absolutely is. We can't do any of this without the laundry equipment. But if you were to position the payment system first, you're automatically going to look a little bit different than the other distributors that are visiting on that same prospect. And I think what's important is, as we are also told to do, is to be more solution sales oriented, more consultative, is not just sell a card system as a box. It's not really just a box. It's really more of a operating system for the store. And it consists of many boxes, kiosks, card readers, access points, all kinds of things are needed to put it together. But in the end, you're not just selling boxes. I think we want to sell a solution, a purpose-driven solution to help owners maximize their potential as they take on new laundry equipment or are taking over a new store where they're looking to do something. Positioning yourself in that light before selling laundry equipment is automatically going to set you aside. When we jump right to the washing machine is $8,000 and I'm going to get it to you as cheap as possible, we have instantly devalued what you do. And because distributors are leaned on so heavily by their customers, which often become these really great relationships, I think we need to think about not just price, we need to think about the solution that comes along with that. And the great thing is that a great combination of laundry equipment and payment systems delivers an amazing solution to the people that we're trying to offer our products to. So, again, if you're new to payment systems, if you're new to the laundry industry, keep in mind that what people are doing in laundries is they're buying a convenient business. And so most of the things that I talk about when we talk about payment systems are how do they make things convenient to the retail customer, convenient to the store owner, just convenient to the business overall. And keep in mind that, although coin stores have been in business for, well over 50 years at this point, they have their own headaches too. So the idea that a card store is going to introduce more headaches than a coin store is completely false. There are plenty of things that many coin store owners will share with us and share with you that having a coin only store has its own downsides. The other layer to this is just the amount of control that you're going to have when a payment system is introduced into a laundry. And explaining to a store owner that they are investing in this business, whether it's a retool or a new store, and that the amount of control they're going to have to be able to review their business, make adjustments quickly, easily, and maximize their opportunities to make the most effective profit really should not be emphasized in your proposals. And at the end of the day, there are so many ancillary products that can tie into the payment systems. We'll spend some time thinking and going through some of those through other episodes. But at the end of the day, let's not think about payment systems as just a box, as just another line item on our quote. Let's think about payment systems as a operating system for the laundromat. We need the hardware, but we also need an operating system. So, what I want to do in this podcast is, I don't think anybody needs any more brochures. You guys carry around lots of brochures. Nowadays, they're all digital, but at the end of the day, who sits there and analyzes brochures? I think what we want to do is provide you with situations that come up in the conversation of card systems and provide you answers and ideas that so when you have them in the future, you have them at top of mind. And so being able to answer those with confidence and manage the objections that come along with that, that's what this podcast is about. People are going to ask, why is it so expensive? My customers are used to quarters. What happens if my internet goes out? Can I really trust all this technology? And so unless you're comfortable with it as a distributor, as a salesperson being in this industry, it's going to be hard for you to convey that with confidence to your investors, to your prospects. So the goal of this podcast, again, is to cover topics like that and to give you real world scenarios in which you can use when you present these options to your prospects. So some of the things that we plan on covering in this podcast is obviously clarity amongst the products. We have 3 products. We have Laundry Card, we have Fast Card, We have Flex RF, and probably a couple of times a week, someone says, well, what's the difference between all these products? And again, the reason for this podcast is to help you digest and understand in short increments of time all of the things that you need to know to be successful in the payment system world, because there are needs for more than one type of product, and we'll cover products even that we don't even offer, so that you have the ideas that when people ask you, you know how to intelligently respond and provide advice as a consultant to your retail customers, to your investors. So, we don't need to provide sales scripts, but we're going to provide you sales concepts, ideas, and keep you up to date on how the technology works. From a operational perspective, we're not going to go into a lot of technical details, but we want to talk about how to leverage the systems. Will help you feel more confident talking to customers. Obviously, we want to talk about objections. People are going to say, well, why should I do this? And why should I do that? Why should I use this product versus that product? Competitive positioning is really important here. And one of the things that I hope to accomplish, amongst many in this podcast, is to give you a perspective of how to position the different products out there. There are so many different payment system solutions on the market today. I can't even imagine, as a distributor salesperson, how to decide which one I should present. And what I find to be the most common response to that is that the distributor just basically holds the catalog open and says, I can get you any of these, just pick what you want. And although it's nice to feel like just like the Amazon of the laundry equipment business and people just pick what they want, the problem is that we're making a really serious decision on how we're going to operate our business when we're picking the payment system. And at the end of the day, you should be giving them advice on what you know will work for them. What has worked for other store owners? What are things they should be thinking about based on the type of business they want to operate? And so don't just let them pick out of a catalog. Suggest something. Offer that this product is really good at this, and this product is really good at that, and help them come to conclusion. Because that if you just open the catalog and they just pick a system out of that catalog and something goes sideways with it, they're still going to come back to you, the guy that sold it to them, and say, hey, you guided me in the wrong direction. If you were going to be accused of guiding somebody in a direction that they picked on their own, you might as well guide them to something that works. And again, in all my years of being in this business, the distributors that I find are the most successful are the ones that don't just treat it like a catalog. And this is with all of their products, not just with payment systems, but instead become a true consultant of the products, understand them to a certain level of degree, and they have confidence, and the customers will. They want someone to recommend. They certainly want to do some of their self-research, and we all put plenty of information online to allow them to research products and features and all that. But at the end of the day, somebody that they trust, you, needs to suggest what they go with. Which company is going to take care of them? Which one has the best service? Which product has the functionality in it? Which one has the life, the history of doing all of those things? All of that needs to come into the play as you make a suggestion. So my goal as part of this podcast is obviously to show you how CCI is a really obvious choice when it comes to laundromat operations, but also to make sure that you become the most educated distributor in your market, so that you are the voice of reason when you are presenting your solutions out there. Don't be like the rest of the guys. Lead a different way and be the most informed reseller in your area. And that's only going to lead to more sales, better relationships with their customers, so on and so on. I also hope to also talk about industry trends. Technology is evolving so quickly. I mean, everybody says that every single day. It's never stops being the case. Obviously, AI is all over the place, and how does that have an impact on the laundry industry? It has an impact on every industry to some degree. And so, we'll spend time talking about that so that you can come to a conversation with a laundry investor or a store owner with something to reference, concepts that maybe we brought to light for you. So at the end of the day, we'll talk about all the trends. And then occasionally, as I mentioned, I want to bring guests in. Maybe you would like to be on the podcast to discuss a topic, an idea, a concept, all for that. I hope to bring people that I think will help you understand how to make more sales, how to bring CCI connected to other systems that are similar, that are relatable. How can we help the store owners be as successful as possible so that ultimately they come back to you to build store number 2, store number 3, at the end of that. So we will use this time together to make sure that you are walking away from every episode with some piece of information that you can reuse over and over again, get a little more knowledge, a little more educated on the laundromat industry in general, learn something new, but of course, understand payment systems at the end of the day. Let's treat it like a tool belt, and you'll be able to pull the right tools out at the right time. So I do want you to participate in this. I want the people who listen to this, that watch this, to contribute. Questions. What do you think needs to be answered? What kinds of information do you need in order to be more successful? Where do you feel like there are gaps in what you are presenting to customers today? What are the objections that you're hearing? People say no because of price. Are people saying no because of their perception of how customers are going to perceive a type of payment system? Those are the kinds of things that I can add value to if I understand and know what it is that you're hearing from the field. As you are driving right now to your next appointment, are you going to be talking about a payment system? Have you talked to that customer about a payment system before? Is it something that you never talk about? Is it something you always talk about? Why? And bring those questions to me, and we'll include them in future episodes. And again, any other topics that are interesting that you think that we can cover, give you that 20-minute kind of power rush of information, something you can digest easily in the car, and then move on to your next appointment. So that's the goal of this podcast. We are tackling objective number 1, which is to let you know what we're up to. Keep in mind that future episodes will be based on impact input from you. And so we're going to tackle things like I mentioned earlier. Why are card systems so expensive? I'll give you some tools in future episodes about how to answer that without feeling like you're apologizing. The value proposition around the payment system is something that I think we don't lean into hard enough. But next episode, we'll focus on why it's expensive, how you can overcome that, and other tools and bits of information that I think that will help you land that next sale. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining me, and look forward to talking to you next time.